So let's start here with a chant that you don't have to consider these things gods or goddesses. You don't have to be a carcist or an exorcist. But this is the Demoniacus chants for one's intentions in regards to these 9 that are called day lords in that system. Zoles Zehlel Perfus Gavux Fungor Aunu Orizaxus Itzle. For Itzle. Ragaor was Musks is Ahgu Crowarmungbux Sufgor Ele was Zazham Bumwasm Oapzo Hology Xrmglungo Gumvolpus Oapzo Nurksulmungvux Fungor Puzzle Hattel Hulyalom Zuliz Xsox Surface Garxfav Yamzo Hulyalom Gozalog Vulgo Gumvakvamlogo Yaztam Yaz Lel Tungzu Vamnalam Yamzo Gozoks Rahaz was Yaztav Yaz. And so we can think of the Mayan astrology, as some might call it, in terms of 20 days into 13-day periods. So each of them would start a different sequence. And the order of that sequence, you see how it restarts, but it has a, so every one of those weeks, as you would call them, has 7 that the last didn't, and it doesn't have 7 that the last didn't. And they had a 350-day cycle called a Hab, which meant Veg, and we see that talked about on page 320. They had 52-year cycles. They regarded Venus in particular, whether it was a morning star, an evening star, whether it was close or far, that sort of thing. They regarded other planets, but Venus was a ever-present one. And as far as what we're going to see, we have Page 5, talking about the directions. Then 6, the day signs with their directions. Page 15, the days signs with their meanings, so the 20 day signs. And 17 through 36, the day signs meanings. 46 to 48, the personal meanings and the social meanings of the day signs. It's good to look at your symbolism with different perspectives. Then we have the Bolon, T, Ku, the 9 of them. Now they're called Night Lords, but every 9, they would follow in the sequence of what we had just gone over. And 60 to 63 was the years by directions. 69 through 72, the Venus meanings. 74 has the pyramid chart. And let me show you the pyramid chart. So they say we can use that in particular. See that, and the long count cycles. And page 98 talks about the 4 burner dates. So the 260-day cycle would be divided by 4, and the start of each of those would be called burner days, and they start a fire 20 days before that. So the Mayan solar year would have 18 months, and those 18 months would have a 19th. They'd have a 19th month with intercalculary days. And so page 104 to 106 talks about the calendar dates and the cycles, how they compare to the planets and stuff. 118. 123 to 318 is the almanac. The Katun meanings, of the 13, right? Page 95 to 98. And so it's not that we look at patterns and say, oh, we can tell the unseen in the future and all that. That's not what we have to do with these things. I mean, certainly people will want to. Your typical person will try to tell the future and stuff with a book like this. But we can look into the tarot as a way to divide the year too. The cooling quarter would have the cards. The Hanged Man, the Princess, and the Ace of Cups. I'm talking Northern Hemisphere, I guess. You can just flip it around for the Southern Hemisphere, too. It's basically the same thing. The Dark Quarter would have the universe, the world, the ion, whatever you want to call it. You'd have the Princess and the Ace of Discs. So cups, disc, because we're in the middle of cups. That's why I'm starting at cups. And for the warming quarter, around like the 4th of February to around the 5th of May, we would have the Fool. We'd have the Ace and the Princess of Swords. And, of course, we'd be left with Disc, the Ace and Princess of Disc, between about May 6th and August 7th, right? And, well, the days can change slightly, but it's the cross quarter. And so the Ace and Princess of Discs. And we'd have the Ion card, the Judgment card. So water, earth, air, and fire. So as far as the months, let's talk about the court cards in a separate thing, but we'd have the lust card or the strength card. And then we'd have the hermit. And then we would have adjustment, the justice card. And then after that, we would have death. And then art, or temperance as people would call it. We'd have the devil. We'd have the star. We'd have the emperor. Oh, well, no, we'd have the, approximately, let's just call them months. But some of this, you may, not have the full month, or maybe you'd have a little bit of a second month if it was like February. But April is the moon. And then we have the emperor. We have the Hierophant. We have the lovers or the brothers. We have the chariot. And we can look at the court cards. So right now, in September, we would have the King of Discs. The lion has turned green, as they would say it. We would have the Prince of Swords, the Queen of Cups, the King of Swords, I didn't say any swords yet, have I? Yeah, they said the King of Swords, and then you'd have the Queen. Oh, no, you wouldn't have the King. You'd have the Prince of Discs. So Prince of Wands, and then now we're at the Prince. Oh, I'm going to start with the. So at the equinoxes and the solstices, we have the kings. So and before them by 4, we have the queens. And after them by 4, we have the princes. So king, prince, queen, king, prince, queen, king, prince, queen. So see, we have Capricorn, so February and October and June. And to have the pip cards. The 2 is after every equinox and solstice. So for the, December, June, September, March, December, and June, 9, 10, 2. And for the cross quarters, we would have 6, 7, 8. So before all those kings, we have the 6, 7, 8. But 3, 4, 5 would be the next month. The October, the July, the January. And I guess I should stop there. But yeah, whatever negative and positive meaning, don't feel like you're doomed when you see things line up. But obviously the Aztecs and the Mayans and all those other things, groups, They weren't saying, oh, the world will end in 2012 or the world will end in 19 something, the Aztec calendar. But people have jumped to these conclusions just because they've only calculated out that far.